Hey, sit down. We're almost to school. It's time now for the school report. Today we welcome Lori Frerk to the studio, the superintendent of the Arcadia School District, brought to you by Poppy Bus Service. The school report starts right now.
That's right, everybody. It's Friday, and thank God it's Friday. I'm sitting here with Lori Frerk. How are you this morning?
We're hanging in there.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been saying earlier today that this week, I don't know what it is. It's just maybe it's fall coming. I'm feeling a little tired.
Well, you're looking in the trees. I'm like, oh, are some of the leaves coming down?
I know. Yeah. Oh, well, out by me there is a bunch of maple trees that are already changing. So you got that red tint. You know.
Yep. Here it comes.
It's getting darker faster. Like I don't know.
Kids are looking at the calendar and going, oh, crap, here we go.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of that, we should start with that. Those buses we saw a couple drive by, they're going to be moving pretty soon.
Yeah. Next week, our teachers will be coming back, and the following week, we'll have those transition days for all of our schools in the TVC. So please be watching out for the red lights and the stoppage of the buses. Just remember to stay those 20 feet behind and don't go through the red signs and the red lights because you're looking at a higher fine than normal. So you're looking about I believe it now is up to $1,000.
Okay.
And then you also lose about 4 points on your license and so forth. And I'm sure your insurance agents would not be happy with going through that.
And we should warn high school kids if you just got your license, you're on that probationary period. So something like that, you could lose your license for too.
And you got to be very careful. The reason that sign is out there because you have kids crossing the street, and they don't have the ability sometimes when they might be 4K, they might be first grade, whatever. You don't want to take a point in time that you actually hit a child overall. And don't swing around them. Be careful about that. They're doing their days. So those first transition days are the nice days for our transportation department. We have our own transportation department. They have Pappies over here. And those drivers are doing their best and making sure they do that. But those first days are for them to get the timing down and to move the students to and from school.
Yeah, and like you said, 2 weeks away. My goodness, I can't believe it's that time already. But
for us, we're lucky. We have our bus drivers. I hope Pappy has all theirs. These bus drivers, sometimes they don't get the recognition they deserve overall because they do a job for us that people don't. I don't think they realize that. They can make or break a kid's day.
Yeah.
So they're the first ones to say hi to them, kind of make their day going, and they're the last ones to see them off the bus until the next day, and hopefully have a great evening and be able to do that.
Yeah.
And they do a wonderful job in that part.
Yeah. And not only do they have to pay attention to what's on the road, is what's behind them too with the kids, and we all know how kids can be. I mean, I know how I could be on the bus. So
bus behavior is important too for students of all. So if students are maintaining their behavior overall, the bus drivers can keep their eyes on the road. That little bit of look up, you know as well as I do when we're driving, if we have to look over, sometimes you're looking back and going, here it is, something's suddenly coming up. So as long as the kids take the behavior and take the safety as important as everybody else on the road, to and from school should be great.
Yeah, that's great. And you were talking before we got on the air that you have all your positions filled.
Lucky, we're lucky.
Yeah, because some people are still working for it. So
I'm not sure about all the other schools in our TVC and the districts what they're doing. You do look on articles and different things where some of these school districts are looking for 20, 30 positions. Those are the larger school districts. We are lucky to maintain what we have. Sometimes we have in and out with our paraprofessionals and different things like that. But knock on wood, we're going to be able to go into the school year with a full team.
Good deal.
Yeah. And that's nice because this actually was my first full year now coming in. So now it's the hiring process for for me as the second year of my tenure at Arcadia.
Okay.
So
yeah, and like you said, it's your first full year. That's right. I got to talk to you when you were brand new here.
Yes, and it's interesting. It's kind of a sullen time right now too, because last year at this time was one of our deaths of our students, and so just memory of him, overall. Hopefully we get into our school year without having to do those pieces, but my thoughts are with the family and so forth at this time, because that was a heartbreak for them. It was a heartbreak for us for the year, and I don't wish that on anybody in any family as a whole. So hopefully this year that we get through and we don't have any of those heartbreaks.
Yeah, exactly. And so school is when is the first official day of school?
The official for any school district without a waiver would be September 2nd.
Okay.
And those transition days are just to make sure that we have the buses running well, the schedules are well for the students, back and forth, all that those different pieces for our staff, and even the ladies, the different cooks in different areas, and that, just making sure that they can get things set and ready to go.
Yeah, just get back in the swing of it.
Right.
You take that time off. It's like, you kind of need some practice days, right?
Correct. And our staff will be coming in next week because some of them, they take their time. They have to take that break. Some of them taught summer school, so they have a less of a break. But some of them weren't able to get into their classrooms because our custodians were doing their job of pulling the classrooms apart, cleaning everything else. Yep, you don't have gum in school, but sometimes gum ends up on the bottom of the desk, so everybody has to clean that up.
It's that magical gum gnome.
I know. We were there one day too, at one point. But so our custodians have done a wonderful job of getting things ready for the school year, and now practices are starting. So you have football starting next week. You're going to have volleyball starting. You have cross country starting. So everything is beginning, and that intensity for the school year is there.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. So for the parents out there, I'm sure there's probably been some letters and things that went out. So maybe you should just let them know, in case they haven't seen it or you haven't got them back, what they need to do before that time comes, because it's coming.
Yeah, so hopefully with us, we have to make sure that we do our formal registration and so forth. And they're going to go, what do you mean I've registered? But it's actually updating their files on our we have Infinite Campus, so they go into Infinite Campus, update their files, and so forth. So what that means is making sure their address is correct. Did they change their phone number? Because if we have a situation, we have to call them. We want to make sure that we can contact them overall. Yeah. I'm sure all the other districts have that enrollment piece going. We've narrowed it down. We don't have as many parents out there that need to do that. So then we'll be making those phone calls. Just check online. You check on each of the websites, because there's a school list for what needs are there overall. Typically, the elementary is typically the same pieces with their markers and different things like that. As you get into the high school, those are going to change. You're going to look at folders, you're going to look at pencils and different things like that. But be prepared. And be prepared, because our technology department is actually preparing all of their Chromebooks and different things and getting set for that usage overall.
Yeah, it's that time. And are you guys using the AI kind of tutor thing too?
Yeah, we've already been doing that. All of the TVC schools have been starting with that. Last year we did start and had goals for our teachers to begin to use some of the platforms within their instruction. We're going to push that a little bit more. Okay. It's not that you're going to have a complete AI and that's it, and the teacher's going to sit back.
And that's what people always worry. They're like, oh, the AIs are going to take their jobs. It's like, no. It's kind of a tool, right?
Correct. And you got to be careful about AI too, because AI is going to swing to what you place into it, overall for questions. You've got to be looking at those pieces. The AI is a tool, though, to enhance and we've always talked about differentiating instruction. In our schools now, in a classroom, when we were kids, basically special education students were kind of like taken out of our classroom. They were there. And you didn't have those varying conditions. You didn't have those varying levels. You're pretty much in that, the bluebird, redbird, whatever it was, right? In this case, now we've learned that we've placed kids within the classroom as a whole. So our teachers have possibly 9 different levels of learning, and levels of learning for our kids. How do you differentiate for that many? So the AI tool for our teacher and for our kids is to help differentiate to the levels that they need. So it can take a article that they pick overall and they can switch that to a different lexile to drop that lexile
Okay.
to the level of where the student is. So I might be a 10th grader, and I've got a article that's given to me by a teacher, and it might be at that 10th grade level. And newspapers are at the 8th grade level, but you can enhance that. So you can make it a higher lexile level, or you can drop that lexile level to the level for that student within the classroom. And that's really what AI is doing. It also allows for an advanced kid. We've always looked at that. You get a super smart kid, and I'm going to tell you, in elementary, the super smart kid is probably that kid that's becoming a behavior problem.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
You can move that student into a higher level area for what you're learning, so that you actually gain momentum for that kid and actually gain interest, and so that they don't do some of those things. So you can do all that process. So think of AI as that transitioning of maybe not the paper piece that a teacher had to go look for, but something that they've already found and that they can enhance it in all of the directions.
Yeah, it sounds like it can learn from the child itself too, and learn their way of learning, so it can help cater it for them.
Correct. And that's been a bigger piece, and I've known it more for looking at English language learners, because sometimes they're at different levels, but yet you want them to learn the same pieces that they are in grade level. But some of them have come in 1 year ago, some of them come in 6 months, some have come in 3 years, but they're not up to date. I've been trying to learn my Spanish, right? I've got almost 2 years of Spanish, and I'm not there yet. It would take me a long time.
Yeah.
But that would allow for that student to still maintain with their grade level cohorts, and then but be able to do the same article and be able to answer the same types of questions, but it just at a different lexile level.
Yep.
If you run into just adults themselves, we all have that same piece. We've all run through those pieces. If you run into me, I probably have a higher lexile level on mathematics than most people, right?
Yep.
I mean, but that's just how our brains have been made up.
Yep,
And so
everyone's
we wanna
brain kind of goes in different directions. They're good
Correct.
at some things. It's like my dad. He wasn't great at reading, but
Right.
you need something fixed. Oh, he'd get it done for you.
Right. Like my father, if I remember correctly, I know that he read one book in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Right? And I knew that coming out, that when I had my own children, we read books to them. And I got to a point where I read books to our daughter, and I was reading 10 of those small books, and she was 4.
Yeah.
And it was a time when Harry Potter, yes, I'm old. Harry Potter just came out. So people at school said, why don't you just read her Harry Potter? So we sat down, I read the book chapter by chapter. We talked. She's 4.5, got done. I'm like, that was an awesome book. We'll get the next one, right? And she goes, yeah, if we get the next one, can I just read it myself? I'm like, okay. So she was more of an advanced reader.
Yeah.
So every child is different. Don't think your child overall is smarter or not as smart as someone else. They have their gifts in every area.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to look for, and how do you enhance that?
Yep, exactly. And it was the same with my kids. My 2 girls were advanced readers in all the advanced classes and stuff too, and they would sit and read book after book. My wife's the same way. I cannot sit and read a book. It's got to be I'm learning something. It's usually technology, though. I can take a technology piece and I'll press the buttons and stuff before I even open up the manual. And then if I need to learn something,
Then you go to
then
it.
I'll go to the manual. But usually it's just, it's trial and error first.
I don't know if that's just all males, though,
It might-
because that's my husband. He goes,
probably is.
who needs those instructions
Yeah.
to put this together?
We're never going to ask for directions either.
That is true. We've been married for the 33 years, and it's just the way it is, So, but yeah, I mean, then that's kind of what you want to look at,
Yeah.
right? I'm also looking at within our schools, how do we enhance our CTE wing? How do we bring in more of those skill pieces? Because that's going to be the need within the future. We've talked about that. How do we move things forward even more? Our tech ed wing, we ended up getting some grants. We're looking at buying certain tools and different things so that we can begin to bolster that area and bolster the CTE areas, which
Yeah.
would be like the nursing areas, the ag areas, and so forth. We need to do that for our community overall.
Yep, and I've talked to all the superintendents about this, is things are moving at such a pace that 4 years of college, doesn't always fit for some people. So starting them off early in high school with some of these tech programs and things like that is really helping give that lift off they could use.
Right. And what we have to look at is how do we get our kids enough education, learning, to be able to be adaptable and to be creative. And if we give them some of that, if we give them the base, they can choose the direction they want. They can go to a college if they choose. They can go right out to the workforce. Usually, if they're going right out to the workforce, a company or the company they're with is going to see their gifts, and they're going to move them in and out of some of these colleges.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see more of that as we move forward.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see more of the certifications and so forth, that the companies themselves are going to be recognizing that. Our students themselves have to just be able to manage it in that manner of speaking,
Yeah.
so that 1-2 years down the line, they can be thoughtful and educated enough to make sure that their skill level is not a big gap, that they can close that gap and they can move forward to be doing that.
Yeah, and it's gonna, the jobs that are gonna be here in the next 5-10 years, we probably can't even imagine them
Right.
yet, so.
I mean, you're still going to need education.
Yeah.
And those pieces.
You're still gonna need plumbers and
Yes.
carpenters and
You will need all those.
Yep.
And I always look at it, I'm like, and people go plumbing, and I'm like, they're doing a job I choose not to do, right? When you look at those pieces. But even that, when it comes to education, we don't have as many educators out there that we used to. I think part of that is because we've kind of dumped on that career. Like, it's not a great career. That career is there. It's a wonderful career.
You're gonna make good money.
You're gonna make
great.
You're gonna make good money. Everybody goes, well, I don't make money. You do make great. You make good money because, think about it, you're only working that September really to June. But you also have that intangible where you can see the just give the gift of education to that next generation overall. And so hopefully we can find some of our individuals that had that heart for education, but went out into the workforce, but have learned, but they want to come back, right? And those are the individuals that we're trying to reach out to, is how do they come back into the school system, especially in the CTE way.
Yeah.
They have now an enhanced skill that we have a difficult time to cover overall.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this has been pretty good.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to cover before we go?
No, I just wish happy start of the school year for all the staff that are coming back. Wonderful that we were able to do that. And then to the students out there, well, switch your sleeping pattern right now, because if you had a week and a half, you can get back to a normal, maybe a normal sleeping pattern. But I know those adolescents in the high school, they don't have a normal sleeping pattern.
Yeah.
But we talked about that earlier about ourselves. So hopefully we can get those going, and that we have a safe opening to our schools.
Good deal. Well, I wish you a great first day of school back for your second year now. So it should hopefully goes a little smoother this year for you. And we will see you back. You're going to miss in a couple weeks, but we'll see you back sometime soon.
October.
All right. Sounds
Hunting
good.
season.
Hunting season. We can talk about that then. So, Lori Frerk, thank you so much for being here. We're going to get back into the hits right after this.
WHTL is once again broadcasting live from Whitehall Beef and Dairy Days. Join us this afternoon from 5 to 7 from the Big Tent in downtown Whitehall.